Welcome, everybody, back to the Fire Talk podcast and YouTube channel. Today, we're going to be doing another segment of grading AJ Preller, and this time, we're going to be doing the 2018 offseason through the 2019 regular season. So, what we've been doing in the past, we've been going through each year. It's kind of hard to do each year, so we do offseason through that season, and then give Preller a grade for that length of time. And then at the end, after we finish all the years, except for last year, because obviously it's way too soon to start grading him for stuff that we barely have seen, the outcome of. But we're going to go through and kind of give him an overall grade on his trades throughout his time. But with that said, Chase, you want to go through all the moves that he made from the 2018 offseason through that 2019 season?
Yeah, so to start off, we acquired infielder Jason Vosler from the Cubs for right-handed pitcher Rowan Wick. We acquired Esteban Quiros from the Red Sox for right-handed pitcher Colton Brewer. We acquired right-handed pitcher Ignacio Feliz from the Indians, right-handed pitcher Walter Lockett. We acquired outfielder Connor Panas from the Blue Jays for left-handed pitcher Clayton Richard. We acquired right-handed pitcher Matt Wiesler from the Reds for right-handed pitcher Diomar Lopez. Then in the 2019 season, we acquired right-handed pitcher Franklin Van Gerp from the Giants for Alex Dickerson. We acquired outfielder Taylor Trammell for outfielder Franmil Reyes, left-handed pitcher Logan Allen, and infielder Victor Nova. That's it.
Yeah, last one. I think there might have been one more. No, it was Carl Edwards Jr. for Brad Week.
Yes, I missed that one.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, all of those, none of them are very significant. Again, kind of like the last video, except for there is one that will be talked about more than the others. You look at Vosler. I mean, he only made it to AAA. Played for the Giants last year. Quiros is with the Rays now, but even the other guys didn't do very well. Rowan Wick did all right. He had a 3.18 ERA over 3 seasons, 73 innings pitched. Ignacio Feliz isn't with us anymore. Walker Lockett, almost a 7 ERA. So none of these are very big trades. I think there's one that might be a little lopsided, is where we got Matt Wiesler. He ended up having a 5.28 ERA and 29 innings pitched. And then we gave up Diomar Lopez, who he hasn't played in the bigs yet, but in AA and AAA last year, he had a 2.38 ERA with a 1.081 whip. And then, I mean, let's talk about this one. Yeah, that one is the one we're going to talk about. Taylor Trammell for Franmil Reyes, Logan Allen, and Victor Nova. I don't know who Victor Nova is. I only know who Logan Allen, and I watched the games where Logan Allen pitched, but to be completely honest, the main reason I know who Logan Allen is because John Cena would show up to the games to watch Logan Allen, and I thought that was super cool. That's the only reason I wanted to go to a Logan Allen game, is to see if I could meet John Cena. His numbers weren't that great. I think he had like a 5.54 ERA and 63 innings pitched, so nothing crazy with him. I think he had a really solid first start, if I can remember correctly. Last one, this one kind of hurts, is Franmil Reyes. In a time where we're looking to have the universal DH, and the Padres are looking to get a bat that's worthy of being a DH, such as a Nick Castellanos. Well, you could get this guy. You could still have this kind of guy for around $10 to $15 million cheaper and be able to use that money to go somewhere else. Now you want to spend big on a guy that I honestly think is going to be an Eric Hosmer type deal where it just does not pay off. The thing with Franmil wasn't just about his production on the field. It was that he was like, him along with Fernando were the heart and soul of this team, where, after the games, you'd have Franmil singing that, you guys all know what I'm talking about. He would be doing that, and it was really fun to watch him. Maybe not the best defensive outfielder, but man, did he have a bat. I went to a game against the Phillies where he clubbed like 3 bombs, and there were no doubters, where my jaw just dropped because they were hit so far. But really, a really solid power bat that's really affordable, has good numbers year in, year out, and that's a bat that I would still love to have on the Padres, because Taylor Trammell ended up not even playing a game for the Padres, not being that good of a minor league asset either. Ended up just being traded away for, I think, who was it, guys? Austin Nola? I think it was that trade, right? Yeah, so ended up just being...
Pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure, yeah. It ended up just kind of being a wash because none of the guys are with us anymore. Or, well, that guy isn't with us anymore.
Yeah, that one definitely hurts a lot. I mean, you traded the Franimal, and that was the one that hurt. I remember looking at my phone when that happened, and my roommate at the time, also a Padres fan, and we were so bummed because like we would watch the games in our dorm, and it would suck. Like that was the year when Craig Stammen allowed, what was it, the 4 home runs in a row. Like we had some low end moments, and then they traded his friend Mail, like, and it just he was the heart and soul of that team. And that one always bummed me out. Like that one always sucked to me. And now, Isaac, you bring up Nick Castellanos. I mean, I don't have their numbers side by side right now, but for instance, last year, Franmil hit 30 home runs and he had an 846 OPS. In 2019, Franmil hit 37 bombs and had an 822 OPS. Those are 2 years with over 30 bombs. Nick Castellanos might get $150 million, and he's only ever had a year with one season with 30 home runs. Now, obviously, that's not where you just go and compare the players and go, oh, well, that means Franmil is better. No, of course not. And I know that Castellanos has made a lot of improvements to his game, and that's one of the big things. But when you're talking about potentially this guy being only marginally better, and the guy that you acquired was Taylor Trammell, and then you just go to move him, and like he's in the system for like I mean, I can't really say a year because it was the 2020 year where he got traded. So like you have him in your system for like 3 months where he's actually playing, maybe even less than that. It might be like 2 months. It's just kind of a weird one where it happened and everyone was like, okay, so they're moving Franmil, and that means that Taylor Trammell is going to eventually take over the spot that Franmil Reyes is at. And it didn't happen. And now it feels like the Padres are in a spot where they're going to be replacing Franmil Reyes, who could have become that DH, for Nick Castellanos. And if we're going to bring up defense, yeah, Franmil was not the best defensive player, but Castellanos isn't. So this is the one that I think this is like the only trade I think that is really worth bringing up in this one, just because it definitely is impacting the Padres right now. And if they go break off some guy who's an outfielder that isn't a good defensive outfielder, but is kind of like destined to become a DH, it's just going to seem kind of weird. It's just going to seem like you kind of threw Franmil Reyes away, which definitely sucks, especially because, like I said, like he was the heart and soul of that team in 2019, and he was an awesome locker room guy. So that one will always kind of bum me out. And also just like from the fan side, I think that was a lot of people's favorite player. And that year, he's probably my favorite player as well outside of Fernando. But like he was one of my favorite players that year. So I don't know. This one will always kind of bum me out a little bit because I do think that he would have been perfect for that for that DH spot whenever it does come to the NL. But Chase, how you feeling about these trades?
Yeah, I'm just gonna go along with the Franmil trade. Like you guys were saying, he was the heart and soul of the team, and we still really haven't had another guy to fill in that role. Yeah, you can say Tatis, but we saw at the end of the season last year when Tatis wasn't playing good, the whole dugout was down, and it seemed like when the 2019 Padres, yeah, they were in a losing season, but no matter what, it always looked like they were having fun. There was always smiles in the dugout. You would look at them and they were having fun. Franmil was always singing with the crowd. I mean, the moment he got traded, I remember watching one of the Indians games. There was Padres fans all along the dugout singing to Franimal because that was their guy. You know, we still haven't had a guy to replace that, and you have a huge hole in the lineup where you're missing a guy that has hit 30 bombs in the last couple of years in Franimal, and now you want to go after Castellanos, who's going to cost more money, play a little bit better defense in the outfield, and it's only hit 30 bombs one time. Franmil is also younger and on a cheaper contract. So when you look at it, you got Taylor Trammell, who you flipped for Austin Nola, and I think it was Taylor Williams and Dan Altavia. One of those two could have been in the later trade. And you got Nola, who one of the greatest game callers in the league right now, but hasn't been healthy, doesn't provide a lot of power from behind the plate, and has mainly been used for his defense because he hasn't been playing all that much offensively or just been playing that much, and it hurts. You have a huge hole in the clubhouse and the culture that is the San Diego Padres, and you haven't refilled that role. Then, the other one that probably hurts is the Carl Jr. for the Brad Wick. Brad Wick has had a pretty good start with the Cubs. 28 innings pitched, a 1.93 ERA, a 1 WHIP, and Carter Jr. played 1 or 2 games, had a 1.2 innings pitched, a 32.4 ERA, a 4,800 WHIP, and negative WAR in 2 games pitched, or 1 game pitched. It could have been just multiple innings. The rest of them, not really anything major. We gave up Alex Dickerson, who ended up playing pretty decent for the Giants and still continues to do. But other than the Franmil Reyes trade, that's the one that hurt the most.
Isaac, anything else?
I was just going to say that, there's teams across the league that have guys that hit 30-plus bombs, multiple, like 4 of them that hit 30-plus bombs, and those are normally the teams that end up going to the playoffs. The Padres really only have 2 of those. I don't know if I can throw Jake Cronenworth in there yet. 21 bombs, but who knows if he can get to 30. That's kind of tough. Hosmer sucks. Myers, I don't know about Myers. I don't know if he can get there. He was on pace in 2020, but 2021 he didn't do it. So really there's only 2 guys, Manny and Fernando, that can do it, and it would have been really nice to have another guy that can do it in Franmil Reyes. So that kind of sucks, but it's hindsight. I was really excited for Taylor Trammell at first, but obviously there was nothing to show for it.
Yeah. I don't know if I want to do grades on this one because these are still pretty recent. So I don't even know if it's worth it to grade these ones yet. Because a lot of these guys are still in the minors. So I think we'll probably hold off on grades for this one. And then on Monday, we're going to be doing the final year that we're going to be evaluating. But I don't think we need to do grades on either of these. I did go and I put Franmil Reyes and Nick Castellanos as numbers next to each other. Now, keep in mind, Castellanos is 4 years older. He is just coming off of his career year. However, he's played 9 years. Franmil has played 4 years. All right, so Nick Castellanos played like double the time. However, Franmil Reyes has a higher slugging, has a higher OPS, has a higher OPS plus. His on-base percentage is 0.004 points lower. So if you're looking from a pure offensive standpoint, Franmil has been better over the duration of his career. So this is, I think, I don't know. To me, it's kind of eye-opening when you're talking about paying a guy $150 million and you had a guy in Franmil Reyes who was not making very much money that you basically dumped kind of prematurely, I always felt like. So I don't know. This is one that kind of stings, I think, but I don't know. Nothing else for me today. So anything else you guys want to add before we take off? All right, awesome. Well, let us know what you guys think. Comment how much you missed the Franimal below, and we'll talk to you guys tomorrow. I think Chase and Isaac are going to be going live. I will not be on the Sunday live stream, but they're going to be going live at 9 a.m. So I'll talk to you. We'll talk to you guys soon, but they will be going live tomorrow. So make sure to tune in for that. But with all that said, we'll talk to you guys later.